Well, hello Divi Nation. Welcome to a special live stream featuring an exclusive Divi layout only available to those who are lifetime members and anyone who takes advantage of our Cyber Monday sale. And in this live stream, I'm going to be showing you how to add informative icon animations using Divi and an exclusive app launch landing page. And if you are a new customer during our Cyber Monday sale, or if you are a lifetime member, you can actually download this app launch landing page right now for free. Just go ahead and follow the link in the video description below. All right, so without wasting any time, let's jump in and get started with this use case live stream. All right, so just a little sound check, making sure I'm coming in loud and clear for everyone. Happy Wednesday, Monique. Thanks for that. And hello, Web Creativo. And welcome, Uncle Social. Thank you guys for coming in and saying hi. All right, we're loud and clear. Very good to see everyone on the chat here. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. Hopefully I can get to all of them. And let's go ahead and jump in and get started, guys. All right, just a preview of what we're going to be covering today. This is a tutorial about how to add icon animations as you scroll down the page. So this is actually the featured app landing page layout that was just released today. And please go ahead and check out, there's a blog post that's going to go along with this live stream. So check that out. And there's a link in the video description for that. But as you can see, it's a beautiful app launch landing page, perfect for launching your new app. And what you'll see here that is new is just a couple of tricks I'm going to show you to add some animations to these icons. We're going to be using Font Awesome to add some unique icons and then some animations. And just to kind of give you a preview of this 5-star animation, and this is an informative animation. So I'm trying to, not just make something look cool or to pop up or anything like that, but also to provide some helpful information to kind of support the content of the landing page, because you don't want to distract too much from the content. You want to add to it, and this is one way you can do that. And so if I have two examples. This first one, I'm just going to refresh the page so that you can see the 5 stars just kind of gradually show up, and the last one kind of pops up, just to kind of solidify this idea that people already love your app. And you can use this in combination with other things as well, but I'm going to show you how to do that. And this is going to be responsive. It kind of looks like it might not be responsive, but it actually is, because I'm going to show you how to use a few snippets of CSS to flex to make these line up horizontally in one column. And these are actually all text modules with the Font Awesome HTML code in each one of those text modules. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's actually quite simple. And then as we scroll down, I have another animation here, as you can see, which is going to show kind of an informative animation to show integration with other apps. So with this specific animation, this middle one would be, your app icon. And as the as the user scrolls down the page, you'll see the animation happen. And these two, these are all actually text modules as well. And using the Flex CSS code to kind of line them all up horizontally. And it will scale down really nicely on mobile as well, so no worries about that. And so that's where we're going. I'm going to show you how to do that. First thing you'll need to do is go ahead and grab your Font Awesome code to add it to your website. And so you just go to fontawesome.com. Actually, just go to their homepage and you start using it for free. And you get to this page where it has the code. This is kind of the easiest way. You can actually manually install the font or whatever it is, whatever way you would like to do it. But just for this tutorial, I'm just going to grab, this, this code here, and you're going to want to paste it in, going back to your WordPress dashboard here. What you're going to do is go to Divi and then Theme Options, and then make sure and paste that code under the Integration tab at the head of your blog. So right here. So make sure you paste that in, and that's really all you need to do to get access to all those free Font Awesome icons. And then if you want to actually embed an icon onto your web page, all you need to do is go to the icons page in Font Awesome and then, select the one you want. Let's say we want the Google Drive icon here. Just click on it, and then you can actually copy this HTML code right here and then paste it into your text module, which is what we're going to do. So real simple way to get those icons in there. So once you have that set up, you're going to want to make sure and import the app launch landing page to your Divi library. That is, we actually cover that in a separate video on the blog post, and there's a link to that in the video description. But once you have it imported into your Divi library, it'll be named App Launch Landing Page. And then once you do that, you would go through the process of adding a new page, and then adding that or pulling that layout in from the Divi library. And once that's done, just go ahead and deploy the Visual Builder, and this is what your landing page layout will look like. So what we're going to do now is jump down here, and as you can see in my what I believe is my third section of the page, we are going to add the 5-star animation icons here. So to do that, let me make sure I'm not skipping any steps here. All right. I do want to make a quick look and make sure if we have any questions right off the bat here. Looks like we're giving a little lesson about champagne, which is nice. Yes, my name does mean wine. You just need, okay. Monique asked the question, do you just need to put in the short code in once? I'm assuming you're talking about the Font Awesome. Yes, that's it. You just need to put it, make sure it's at the head of the blog, and that's all you need to do. It'll pull, the CDN that way, and you'll have access to those icons. Okay, good question. All right, so we have our Font Awesome installed. We have imported our landing page to a new page. And then now what we're going to do is start building this 5-star animation. So to do that, I'm just going to create a new text module, add it to column 1 here of this 2-column layout. And I need to grab the star icon. And those of you who are familiar with Divi, you might be thinking, well, why don't we just use the built-in star icon that Divi already has in a blurb module? which is absolutely fine. I'm just, since I'm going to be using Font Awesome for the next example, I just thought I might continue and use the same concept for all of them. So here it is. I'm just going to post in this Font Awesome HTML code. And if you're wondering what that is, here on the website, I just searched for star here, and this is the one I am using. So just grab the code and then paste it in to the text module here. And it's really difficult to see because it's showing up really small because it's inheriting the 14 pixel default text size, but we're going to be changing that in a moment. All right, so let's go ahead and update our design of our star here. Jump over to the design tab under the text settings here. We are going to change the text color to something that matches our layout. And let's increase the font size. I'm going to be using VWW units for this, for really most of the design elements in both examples. And the reason is because it will scale nicely on all browser sizes. So really I only have to enter one text size, which is 6 VW here. And it will, I don't really have to update my tablet or mobile sizes. It will just scale nicely because VW is viewport width. And so it's basically 6% or one, I guess 6% of the total viewport width, as opposed to using percentage. If it was like 6% or something like that, that would be 6% of the container that it's in, the width of the container, which is a bit different. So if you use the VW, you know that no matter what size your browser window is, it's going to adjust nicely. It works well for large text sizes. It really wouldn't work well for like body text sizes or things like that. But for this use, it works really nicely. All right, so the text line height, let's make it 1 EM. So what I'm doing is I'm basically building an icon out of a text module. So basically I want everything to kind of, be nice and square around, excuse me, around my icon here. So I don't want any extra line height or anything like that. I do want a little text shadow. I'm just going to add one in here. Just kind of give some depth to it. I do need to, let's make it a little bit more blur strength, and let's decrease the color there so it's not so dark. Just give it a light shadow there. Let's give our text orientation center. Let me just, you might notice that I'm not, my text settings modal here is floating around. Normally I would, excuse me, normally I would dock it to the left here. But the reason why I'm not doing that for this design is because I am using VW length units. And this will skew the preview a bit because it will be inheriting the total width of the browser window, not the width of the preview in the visual builder. So in order to, make sure I'm seeing the actual design as is, I'm just going to undock my modal here. Let me go ahead and bring it to the middle so you can see it better. I don't want my face to be hiding it down there. All right, so as you can see, I have centered my text within my text module here. And I do want to give my text module a custom width. I'm just going to give it 6 VW, the same width that the actual icon is. And then a custom margin. Let's go ahead and do that. the custom margin is just to give it some left and right margin to separate it once we align them horizontally. So keeping the VW length unit, I'm just going to add one VW to the left and one VW to the right. Margin, that is. All right, and I do want to give it an animation of zoom. We're just going to keep it, we're not going to delay that one at all, but once done, I'm going to save it out, and we've basically completed our first icon design. Now all I need to do is duplicate it 4 times, so that I have a total of 5 stars. Really simple. All right, but I do want these animations to be timed so that they show up gradually one by one. So to do that, I'm basically going to keep the first one to its default animation without any delay. Then I'm going to open up my second star settings here. I'm going to come down to my animation, and I am going to put a animation delay of 200 milliseconds. Not 100, sorry. 200 milliseconds. Save that one. Go to my third star. Go to my animation. Give it an animation delay of 400 milliseconds. My fourth star will give it 600. And for our last icon, I'm going to give it a significantly greater delay, because this is actually going to have a different animation effect. We're not going to use zoom, we're actually going to use bounce. And that happens pretty quickly. So we're going to delay it by 1200 milliseconds. And you need to probably feel that out on your own as you make your own design. But we do want it to show up last as to emphasize the 5-star review of the app. All right. So that takes care of that. And now, at this point, if you are familiar with Divi, in order to align these horizontally within one column, as you can see, we're not using a 6-column or a 5-column row layout here, which will start to stack on one another on mobile devices. We are actually keeping everything in this single column on the left. And so if you want to make all of these modules align horizontally and adjacent to one another, what you're going to need to do is add a little snippet of CSS to your column to use the flex property to do that. And what I'm going to do is open up my row settings, and I'm going to go to my custom CSS, and I'm going to scroll down to column 1 main element. That's the left column here with all of my stars. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this code. And what this is doing is aligning all of my content in a horizontal row. And I don't know if you can see that, but the code is basically changing my display to display flex, justifying the content center. The default layout for flex is horizontal columns, basically, in a row. So that's what's happening there. And then when we put justify content center, excuse me, it basically aligns the all the content vertically centered on the column, as you can see, as it is right here. All right, so that takes care of that. Let's go ahead and, as you can see, the background image of my column has shrunk with the column. So in order to gain that that padding back, we need to add some padding to our row. So let's go to the row settings under spacing, and let's give our row a custom padding of 21 VW on the top. Oh, that is wrong. I need to put it in my column. Sorry, column 1 padding, not the row padding. 21 VW top, and then let's link it together. So now we've created some space there, which is nice. Kind of gaining back that original design. And you can see my stars are lining up vertically centered, which works nice with this, triangle background there. All right, I'm going to save this out. And to finish off the design, I want to come back to my 5th star here, and I'm going to make it a little bigger. I'm going to make it 8 VW. Oh, excuse me. Wrong way. I need to add it to my text. So I'm going to increase the size of my text icon font here by changing the text size to 8 VW instead of 6. As you can see, the star gets bigger. And then to line it up with the rest of them, I just need to add a -1 VW to my top margin. And there you go. I'm going to save this out, and let's open it up in a new tab here, and let's see our final result. As we scroll down, there you can see the final result. All right. Before we jump into our next example, I do want to welcome you if you are just joining us. Welcome to a special live stream. And today we're featuring an exclusive Divi layout only available to lifetime members and those who take advantage of our Cyber Monday sale, which is going on right now. And in this live stream, we are going to show you, I am showing you currently, how to add informative icon animations with Divi and the exclusive Cyber Monday app launch landing page. So if you are a new customer during the Cyber Monday sale or a lifetime member, you can download this landing page right now by following the link in the video description. So go ahead and check that out. And so let's get back to it. I left off with finishing our first example animation or icon animation here, which informs the user of this idea that you have an app that's 5 stars, and we just animated it. Excuse me. So that the stars show up gradually, and the last one bounces a little bit to emphasize the 5 stars. For our next example, we're going to scroll down. Let's go back to our visual builder here. I'm going to scroll down to this section here where it says, or this row rather, right underneath the row that has this text module that says seamless integration with tools you know and love. So if right here we're going to add an animation for showing the integration with 2 other apps, which will be a nice illustration. Real quick, let's look at some questions before we dive in. All right. All right, so Uncle Social asks, did I add a shadow to those stars? Yes, I did. And that was done by adding a text shadow as opposed to a box shadow, since it is an icon, a font icon. All right, very good question. Let's keep it rolling. Muhammad says, I love your tutorial. All right, thanks for the encouragement. All right, let's keep going. The next section here, what we're going to do is add our animation underneath here. So I'm going to delete this large image module here, and then I'm going to add a text module. Now for this text module, I'm going to grab I believe, let's go ahead and grab the Google Drive icon. Actually, no, it's the Slack one. So if you want to show integration with Slack, for example, I'm just going to search for the Slack icon. And you're not going to find all the apps that you may need in Font Awesome. You might need to pull in some other fonts for your specific apps. But this is a Slack icon. Let me grab the HTML code. Let's go to our text module here and paste it in. It's really small right there. I don't know if you can see it, but we're going to be designing it. So actually going to give it a text color, custom text color here, which is a purple that matches the purple in the layout already. Let's give our text, excuse me, I got ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and make the text color white and go back to our content tab there and give it a background of purple. So background color, sorry. Okay, there we go. So we want a white icon with a purple background. That's what we're going for here. Let's make the text size 5 VW. Again, we're using our VW length units so that it scales nicely with the design on different browser widths. Let's make sure our line height is 1 EM, which basically says that it's going to be the exact same height that for whatever we set our text size to be. So in other words, this 1 EM translates to 5 VW. And the reason why we give it 1 EM so that if we ever change our text size, it will automatically adjust the line height as well. All right, so our orientation, let's change it to centered. And let's give it a custom padding. We're going to give it a 0.2 VW. Excuse me, not VW. Let's use the EM length unit there. And let's do that for the top and bottom. So 0.2 EM, and let's do it for the right, left and right as well. And then let's give it a border. Let's go to our border and let's give it a width, a border width of 0.2 EM as well. Which basically translates to, 20% of the size of our text font there. All right, the border color, let's make it white, but let's scale it down so we can see through it a bit. All right. And that takes care of our first icon. Doesn't really look like an icon yet because I need to change my size of, let's go back in there and change the size. Let's make it a 1. Yeah, let's make it a width of 2 EM. Okay, so there you go. There's my icon built with a text module, looking good so far. The next thing we're going to do is add another text module. So let's do that. As you can see, it's hard for me to add it in the visual builder, so there may be times where you need to toggle open this wireframe view to get access to some of these elements. So right now I know that I'm here, so I need to add another text module. All right, and I'm just going to toggle back to my desktop view here. And I yeah, added it to my wrong spot. Let me drag it back down. All right, so there's my text module that I want right underneath my icon. And this one actually is going to be blank. I'm just going to take out the content. I'm basically going to use a text module to create a what looks like a divider module or a bar, a line. And the reason is because when you use flex with a divider module, things kind of get messed up because the divider module is displaying the actual border in the of the in the after or before, I think, pseudo element. So if you're familiar with CSS, not sure if that makes sense to you, but in other words, we need to use a text module for this specific design because we're using flex to align them later on. All right, so how do you do this? Basically, we're going to add a background color. We're going to add this Dodger blue here. And then give it we're going to create the spacing of our text module using padding. And I'm going to give it a custom top margin. Now this might not make sense right now, but it will, because you need to kind of envision the fact that each one of these text modules are going to be aligned horizontally. Even though they're aligned vertically right now, I'm building it in such a way that I know they're going to be aligned horizontally later on. So I'm going to need to align this text module to center, to be centered and adjacent to this icon. So I'm going to do that by giving it a top margin, which roughly equates to half of this icon. So to do that, I'm just going to put 3.3 VW. All right. And as you can see, if you can imagine this being right next to it, it would be, centered, vertically centered. And then I'm going to add some padding to the left and right of 5 VW, which doesn't really make sense yet because it's not aligned horizontally yet. And then I need to animate it. So the animation is going to actually be a fold animation. And this will show kind of the effect of it gradually connecting to another app. To do that, we're going to give it a delay first of 1500 milliseconds. And I'm going to change the animation direction from center. We want it to move left. There you go. And we're also going to change the intensity to 100% and then change the starting opacity to 100% because we do want to see it the entire way. I do want to make the speed curve linear, so it kind of has the same speed throughout the whole animation. And that's basically it. So there you go. This is kind of what it's going to look like. So nice connection animation there. Let's go ahead and save that out. We have our two main elements. I'm just going to copy this one to kind of speed up the development of our next one. Paste it underneath my text module that's basically our line. And then open up the settings. Let's go ahead and update the background image. Oh, one thing I did forget to do is I did forget to add an important step on the height of our text module. Because we are using a text module, I do want to give it a specific height, a custom height. I do not want it to go higher than 0.6 VW. So I'm going to put height 0.6 VW to my main element, and that will shrink or make sure that my line doesn't grow too big on different browser widths. All right, let's get back to our duplicated icon settings here, and we're going to change this background color to our blue here. And for sake of time, I'm just going to keep the icon the same. And I'm just going to take out change up the animation, or just add an animation of zoom. Did I add my animation to the first one? Just making sure. Actually, I didn't. So this first one, I needed to add an animation. Sorry about that. Skipping some steps. And the animation there is going to be delayed a bit by 2,500 milliseconds. Okay, so 2,500 milliseconds, and it's going to be a zoom animation. And I'm going to actually make it go from the right to the left. I think what I did was in the blog post, I added the animation later, but I just wanted to show it to you now. Let's add that animation in there. Okay, and then for my second one, I don't need an animation. Let's go ahead and copy this bar here, paste it underneath this icon. And as you can see, my animation is going from right to left. All we need to do is change it to go from left to right. This will all make better sense once we align them horizontally. Let's go ahead and copy this module, paste it under here. And let's change the direction of that animation to right. Okay. Now, just like we did before, I'm just going to paste in that code to make our content align vertically there, horizontally. All right, let's do that. So I'm going to go to my row settings, go to my column 1 main element, and then align them. And as you can see, that effect works pretty nicely. I'm just going to save it out. I could probably align my text module in there to get a bit more centered in the app icons there, but you get the picture. If I go to open it in a new browser window, as you can see, my star icons pop up. Then when I get down to my integration, you can see that offers a nice animation style. Now I'm going to go ahead and inspect this so that I can show you how it responds on mobile here. So I'm just going to shrink this down. As you can see, it's scaling nicely. In fact, the actual icon size is changing along with all of the surrounding elements, along with the line in between. So no need to make those adjustments. You can see my star icons doing the same thing, no matter what size I'm on. Hope you can see that. Let's check what it looks like on mobile. There are my stars. And there's my integration animation there. All right, let's jump over and see if we have any questions. Again, this is probably a bit confusing because of the way I built it vertically first and not horizontally. But I wanted to show you the process and then the effect of using flex with it. All right, so there is a question about VM or EM units. Monique, by Frank, thank you, Frank. Monique does answer. VW refers to viewport width so that it will scale nicely different browser widths. So that question was answered. Uncle Social's brain hurts. I apologize about that. Um, let's let's just want to remind you that there is a blog post that I did about length units, ultimate guide of using can't remember exact title, ultimate guide of using length units in Divi. So you can search that on our blog. Just go to the blog and search length units, and you should be able to find that. It's a really in-depth post on how to use all these length units. All right. So there you go. That's how we add some informative icon animations. Again, this is a landing page, so you want to be subtle, but you also want it to be informative. It needs to make sense, add to the content, not necessarily just, pop up and be distracting. So that was kind of the goal here. I hope that was helpful to you guys in thinking about it. And if anything, you probably learned a little something about Flex, how you can align everything horizontally within one column so that it scales nicely on mobile as well. Okay. All right. I think we've got it. All right. That's it for this video. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I do hope that you have been enjoying our 2018 Cyber Monday sale and all of the special freebies that have been going along with it. And we're sure that you don't want to miss out on any future deals or giveaways. So be sure to subscribe to our blog newsletter, our YouTube channel, and like us on Facebook. And that way you'll get a notification every single time we have something new for you. Thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye-bye, guys.